internet, and welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I am your host for the evening. My name is Advocate of Words, and it is awesome to see all of your beautiful faces. We have a full mic, open mic, as always. So let us take care of business. Oh, jumped ahead there a little bit. All right, here we go. Real quick. This is our 48th open mic, 48 weeks in a row. We have been doing this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Look us up on Facebook and YouTube because that is where this show is recorded. If you want to come back and check it out on Facebook and YouTube, we are doing this through Zoom. In the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see the number 279-995-364. That is going to be on the screen for a bit. So if you're checking this out on Facebook or YouTube, you can jump on Zoom with us. We would like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust, all for funding this and making our free online events possible. You too can support us with a tax-deductible donation at neweurekan.org/contribute or on Cash App, New Eurekan Poets Cafe. Today's theme is Favorite Lady. It is the beginning of International Women's Month. So we are going to start with the theme of who is your favorite lady? Of course, poetic license. You can flip it however you want. You can see in the right-hand side of your screen the upcoming themes. Next week is Back in the Day. Basically, I want to hear poems about back in my day. March 15th, the Ides of March, settling debts, okay? And you can see all of that can be found on my Instagram. You see April 5th, our 1-year anniversary special. I got some things to talk about with that. Also, if you see April 26th, Poet Appreciation. April is Poetry Month. And what we're going to do from now on, start a tradition here, the last Monday of every April, our open mic is going to consist of poets reading other poets' work. Do not read your own poem. If you are on the list, April 26th, tell us what poem you were going to read, by who, and we want you to read it. Appreciate poetry. Like I said, all of that can be found on my Instagram, my Twitters. I am on the social medias. You can follow me at Advocate of Words. And when you spell words, that is with a Z, because, you know, poetic license and all that stuff. Okay, cool. I have been in the lab working hard. I have not been on social media very much, and last night I really wasn't online, but when I came back I got a lot of messages. I heard that the ticketing service to buy the open mic had opened up late. I'm not sure what it was. I think there was a problem with the server, but tomorrow I'm going to speak with the Nuyo again because we've been pretty good about that. Haven't been having too many troubles, but unfortunately last night we did have some trouble. So those of you who are here with us on Zoom, make sure that you open up the Zoom chat so that you can talk nicely about the poets while they're performing. Also, I am putting in the chat right now the list, the open mic list, and those on the waiting list, and we definitely want to get to those people on the waiting list. So the very first person who's coming up is the Urban Cowboy Poet. Make sure everyone, you have your poems ready, so when we call you, this is how it's going to work. Poets have 4 minutes to perform. They're going to start off by letting us know where we can find them online. Then they're going to get into their poems. Afterwards, I'm going to ask to unmute everyone. We're going to be really obnoxious and bother our neighbors. That's okay. That isn't a love for poetry, giving noise to the poets, so we could feel like we're really at an open mic. Also, like I talked about the 1-year anniversary, I'm going to talk a little bit about it later, but the open mic list is only going to be 15 people. 15 people, and that is because what I am doing is I am offering 15 slots to the people who have signed up the most throughout the entire year. So I'm still working on this, people. Oh my, you have no idea what I'm doing. But I'm going through all the lists and I'm counting up how many times people signed up, because how am I supposed to choose who should be like some of the poets that definitely get to rock that night, right? And I want to give some love to the people who've been rocking all year long. So that is what I'm going to do. But it's actually going to be more like 13. Yes, Emily, I'm trying to unmute you. Emily, unmute yourself, please.
Hello, hi, what's up?
Hi. But it's actually 13 because there's two spots. One spot I'm gonna give to La Bruja because we didn't have the Monday night online open mic without her. And the other spot I want to give to Emily Cordis because Emily helped start this from the beginning, and Emily has come on and shown love. Emily has left the cafe for bigger and brighter things, working elsewhere, and we're still mad about it, but we love her. So Emily, April 6th is the 1 year anniversary. Will you be able to join us?
I will be there. I will be there with bells on.
Awesome, awesome. So then you are officially the first person signed up for the open mic list on the 1 year anniversary. Okay, just want to make sure. Thank you, Emily. That is Emily Cordes. She's on our waiting list today. You see, she used to work here. She doesn't even try to pull strings to get on the guaranteed list. She's on the waiting list, so hopefully we get to her. But we're now going to the urban cowboy poet. Ooh, he is looking colorful today. We are starting strong today. The urban cowboy poet. Let the people know where they can find you on YouTube, and then let's hear a legend.
Urban Cowboy Poetry, YouTube and Facebook. Hi there. Thought about your theme. I was trying to get something by all the wonderful ladies. My favorite would be my mom, but I've been working on getting 2 new legends and I don't have anything ready for prime time, but I'll do a legend about an unusual but very fashionable lady. Best dressed kangaroo. A high style fashion magazine set a team to the bush down under. The ideas they come up with really make you start to wonder. For an odd location to put on a fashion shoot, modeling clothes amidst a wallaby, wombat, and bandicoot. Their 4x4s were caravanning through their outback when the Jeep Cherokee in the lead heard something hard, whack. The models in their RV were awakened from their sleep. They climbed out to find a kangaroo lying still beside the Jeep. Claude, the photographer, said, "Look, I got an ID. Let's prop up this dead kangaroo against that old gum tree." He brought out a pile of clothes, and with the help of all the girls, they dressed the roo in basic black with a simple strand of pearls. The models were delighted that they'd found a dress their size. All the girls in unison cried, "Time to accessorize." They knew there were no high heels that would fit on kangaroos. They searched the RV high and low, but they couldn't find clown shoes. Claude's own Gucci jacket completed the stylish look. He'd feature the roo in a sidebar in the next month's book. They dressed her like a femme fatale in a James Bond magazine spread. Only problem was this animal was shaken, not dead. That mama kangaroo sprang up and shot off like a rocket. The Joey riding in her pouch went rifling through Claude's pocket. The little critter swallowed the photographer's car keys. His passport, plane tickets, rolls of film went floating on the breeze. Claude chased her in the Australian heat till he was tuckered out. 100 degrees just weren't his idea of a walkabout. The models lingered outside long enough to get a tan, then retired to sip cocktails in their air-conditioned van. That long-tailed beast went leaping home dressed in the latest fashion. Her reflection in a billabong showed her that she looked smashing. When she meets with her marsupial pals, high style must just be catchy. Every female roo will want a pouch made by Versace. The modeling session was a bust. It was time to go. The photog was exhausted. Besides, the minibar was low. The world's best dressed kangaroo was never again seen till she showed up on the cover of a rival magazine. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves, give it up.
Nice, Greg. Nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Oh, easy P. Way to jump it off, man. Way to start it off. Let's go.
The urban cowboy poet. If you want more of him, you can find him on YouTube. The urban cowboy poet. Next coming up is the apple of my eye, Catherine Badan. Catherine, let the people know where they can find you, but not just send you love letters. And then let's hear your poetry.
Love letters. First, I have to say, vous êtes très française ce soir. You're so French with this on the angle. This is me, CatherineBedan.com, and on there, if you scroll down, that's my photography website. You can check out my Facebook, my SoundCloud, and my YouTube, and they're all there. And you can even email me. And I wrote to theme, and my piece is called My Favorite Lady, a Feminine Feminist. I don't have just one favorite lady, I have many, for how can I possibly choose from all the amazing women who have walked the earth and shared their works? Still, I'd have to say my very favorite lady is me, yours truly. Some have launched our hearts and touched them because of their humanitarian service, like Florence Nightingale, Joan of Arc, Mother Teresa, or Mother Divine, Catherine the Great, Queen Elizabeth, and of course, Princess Diana. Some have flown soaring through the skies, like Beryl Markham and Amelia Earhart, or emerge glistening from the sea like the Brazilian goddess Iemanjá or the Black Madonna. Certainly, let's not forget Lady Liberty. Still, I have to say, my most favorite lady is me, yours truly. Some have used their way with words, influenced the world like Anne Frank, Jane Austen, Virginia Woolf, Maya Angelou. Some women have shared their political insights, such as Frida Kahlo, Rosa Parks, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Jane Goodall. And still, I'd have to say my favorite lady is me, yours truly. While certain beauties have graced us with their celluloid images forever on the silver screen, like Sarah Bernhardt, Greta Garbo, Betty Davis, Carol Lombard, Rita Hayworth, Marilyn Monroe, Ida Lupino and Rita Moreno, Elizabeth Taylor, oh, don't forget Audrey Hepburn. Still, I'd have to say my very favorite lady is me, yours truly, someone I am learning how to love more and more each day. May I introduce myself to you? I'm a recovered feminist. Yes, I'm a feminine feminist through and through, which means equal pay for equal work. That's really all you need to do. No opening of doors from me, please, though sometimes it's nice. While I'm a feminist, just so you know, it isn't absolutely required. I am an admirer of Jane Fonda, Joan Rivers, and Jane Austen, the music of Joni Mitchell, Aretha Franklin, and Whitney Houston. I'm a huge fan of Joyce Carol Oates, Nora Ephron, and Emily Dickinson, but please, forgive my obvious inflated ego, because most importantly, I'm becoming an even bigger fan of me. Yes, I'd have to say my very favorite lady remains me, yours truly. I'm an artist, yes, an artist, and that means I express, and as such, I expect all my friends to be impressed because I'm an outspoken feminine feminist through and through. I'd say I'm often a bold and daring speaker-upper, not to be confused with the current House Speaker, and I've been working intelligently hard on myself. I've been working brilliantly hard on myself, ridding my past, caved-in personas, and cleaning up the atrocities that were almost irrevocably programmed into me by 3 insane, inane, Germanic women, 3 abusive cunt bitches, but not quite. No, not quite, because I'm a warrior. Yes, I'm a survivor. I'm a brightly shining light exploding with the growth of newly fired seeds. So hey, fellas, it's not just a one-sided gig, okay? As much as you'd like to think so. Yeah, keep us women in our place. No way, because you know I've never been a fan of the word subjugate. I'm into mutual respect and an always equal say, a give and take, not just a rigid, shackled one way. Ha! Not to mention I'm actually probably twice your age. Anything else is rather boring anyway. And I'd have to say my very favorite lady is me, yours truly.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for
You're one of my
Catherine.
favorite ladies too, Catherine.
Oh,
That
yes,
was
Catherine.
One of you.
massive,
Fire.
super
Favorite lady.
dope.
Yeah.
Well, very important.
Catherine Bedan, you can find her on CatherineBedan.com when you spell Bedan, B-A-D-I-N. I love the self-love and the braggadocious, man. Speak up for yourselves. I love that. Great job. And next coming up is Mary Blenderman, and I like Mary Blenderman's comment. She said the poem was full of history and self-love. Yes, it was. Mary, let the people know where they can find you, and let's hear that fire.
I mean, it was so true. It really was full of both history and self-love. Catherine brings it every time. I'm so here for it. Well, I mean, you can always find me back here on the New Eurekan or on the web at maryblenderman.com. And if my work brings you some value, I'm on Venmo, and that is in the chat. Wow, here you go. Happy International Women's Month. As a lesbian, I feel like I celebrate this month every month. So I just want to thank you all for joining me in the celebration. So the piece I'm going to share, I knew as soon as I saw the theme that it had to be this piece. This was, I think, actually the first piece that I ever shared on the New Eurekan here. And for me, there's only one favorite lady to talk about. So that's where we're at. Just so you know, an abecedarian is a poem with 26 lines, and the first letter of every line is the one letter of the alphabet, A to Z. And with that, wherever you are, I would so love if you would join me in taking one deep breath in and out. Abecedarian for the girl I almost went home without talking to. Always I used to freeze around beautiful people, or go home before anyone could invite me to theirs, but this time, the cement floor of the art gallery pushed me up from my seat and down the aisle, and I walked slow, as if this were a wedding ending with a pledge to love my intuition. For once, thinking back to my shaking hands, I have no advice to give myself except stand up sooner. You almost missed her, and what you might have missed. I had stopped telling my roommate who I found attractive just so she would stop reminding me to kiss them already, so I could pine in silence, but a little inspiration and a splash of desire make a raucous cocktail. Mary is my name, I haltingly explained, never dreaming she already remembered me. An opus is a masterpiece you write once in your life. Probably this was mine, as I gathered my hands and quietly told her how she gave me breath, right? Isn't that what inspired means? She was stunning up close, all coffee skin and halo hair and tantalizing eyes. A blue light bloomed in my unbound chest, tugging me towards the shimmer in her voice, magic glinting on the edges of her laughter. When you build a fire, if you want it to last, you draw an X with the logs to let the air flow through. You bike through the rain to meet her, zipping past hesitation in the dark.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Mary Blenderman.
I like
So good.
that. That was good.
Good vision there.
Oh, nice, Mary. Nice. Way to drop that.
An art gallery.
Mary Blenderman with the new cut. I didn't know it's on the website. That's what's up. Mary Blenderman. When you spell Blenderman, that's with 2 N's at the end. Make sure you go check that out. Now I'm gonna go check it out. I didn't know. I knew I could always find her here on Monday night, but now I know I could go check out her website. Mary Blenderman. Make sure you go check her out. DJ Clearing, my wingman, is next. Let me unmute.
Advocate of words, so good to see you and good to see everybody tonight. I have 2 poems for you this evening, and you can find me at DG Clearing on the net if you just look that up. My first poem, part of me. Part of me. I am exposed as she purses her lips to blow the winds of desire into my heart. A sea of sand fills the basin spans with the winds of her ways. The grains are propelled at me. Each crystal takes part of me. Bit by bit, I am stripped, standing there naked. My skin feels like it is on fire as she peels away my skin, leaving my nerves exposed to her touch, shaken, confused, dreaming, hurt and loved all at the same time. What will she do to me now? I trust in all that she does. She will fill the darkness part of my soul. She will lighten all that is dark. She will make me cry when it is light. She will make me laugh in the dark. She is the devil in an angel. She is my favorite lady. Thank you. For my second poem, all around me. All around me, along the shore, barefoot, walking on smooth stones, from the ebb of the decay of time, her presence is felt all around me. Sprays of mist from her breath wisp at my being. Thoughts of her persuasion of the past and temptations of the future are felt. The cool waters cover my feet as I walk, each step erased as if I was never there. Her voice can be heard in the echoes of the waves, calling me, seducing me in the presence of my vulnerability. She lures me with enticement into her wake. As waves cap and break, she pounds my love against the bosom of her shores, pulling at my illusions of lust and excitement, immersing the fate of my existence into the drowning of my fantasies. Lucky as a sailor, I am lost to her beauty. She is the lady of the waters, the dreams of all men who pass by. The favorite lady. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give some
Woo!
love to Steve.
Damn.
Dope, man.
Appreciate that, everybody.
Super
Yes.
dope.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I'll be
Thank you.
tempted too.
Look up DG Clearing. That was smooth, man. His presentation smooth. He looking smooth. Now you know why he's my wingman. DG Clearing. Make sure you look him up. Next coming up is Jeff Cottrell. Now, Jeff Cottrell comes with a warning. He may try to sell you something or try to unsell you from something. So beware. Jeff, let the people know where they can find you online, and then let's hear what you got to sell or unsell.
All right. I got a website, jeffcottrell.com, and I'm easy to find on Facebook and Twitter. And I'm on Web TV tomorrow. I'm being interviewed 12:30 p.m. EST tomorrow at thatchannel.com. So I'll put that in the chat afterwards. Okay, so I think I may have done this one here before, but it's now going to be published in an upcoming Australian anthology called Globalization. It's coming out later this month. And you can judge for yourself if this is relevant to the theme. It's called Zoomobile. Hey, baby. Want to see the world with me? Want to reach out and touch each other's souls across a bright and infinite landscape? Or want to leave your bedroom after midnight for crepes and coffee on the Champs-Élysées all in an instant? Baby, just hop inside my Zoommobile. My Zoommobile is gonna take you high and land you safe and sound wherever you say. My Zoommobile is gonna fly you away to the four corners of the blessed earth before you even rise up from your bed. My Zoommobile will bring us both together like no planes, trains, or even automobiles could ever dream of. A ride on Zoommobile don't cost me nothing. The dealership was overstocked that day and gave the Zoommobile away for free. My Zoommobile don't take no gasoline. My Zoommobile runs on electric power. I plug the mother in so I can come and plug you in, baby. The ride in Zoommobile is always smooth. No bumps, no swerves, and no collision risk. We can get smashed on pills and cheap champagne. The cops will never pull us over, babe, and every journey's safe as a baby's womb. And what a trip it is, my wandering mate. We'll go and dive into a pool of art and culture, full of shallow ends and deep, from every civilization round the globe. We'll crash the private bedrooms and the dens of folks you'd otherwise never get to meet. Hear poetry in London and New York, talk politics in Belgium and Brazil, go see Australian seminars, or just kick back with pints of beer and garlic bread with everyone at once. So, baby, let us go then, you and I, and ride this magic carpet through the sky, and see the world without no airline fare. Get out of my dreams and into Zoom Mobile. Just don't forget to unmute. Again, that was called Zoom Mobile.
Unmute.
Zoom, zoom, that was fun, Jeff.
Don't forget to unmute. That's a beautiful ending.
Mobile, love it. Good shit.
Great, man.
Yes, yeah.
We saw what you did there, Zoom Mobile. Look up Jeff Cottrell, jeffcottrell.com. And he's been interviewed tomorrow, man. Jeff has done a lot of things, so make sure you go and look this dude up, working hard. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to those who are commenting on Facebook. My man, Luis Santiago, this brother's always going hard, making sure to give love to all of the poets. Appreciate him. Our homie Scott Pleasance is checking in on Facebook. Appreciate seeing you as always, brother. Marilyn is there. She's saying power. Always giving y'all love too. Shout out to Marilyn Uriah. She's always checking out, mostly on Zoom. She's on Facebook right now. And shout out to Migdalia. I don't know who that is, but she tagged, I think maybe her sister or something. She tagged Melanie. So shout out to Melanie and Migdalia on Facebook for checking us out. And because some people have shown up late, real quick, this is the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. We are doing this on Zoom, 279-995-364. If you would like to join us every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, stream live on Facebook and YouTube, New Eurekan Poets Cafe, hosted by me, Advocate of Words. You can find me online, the social medias at Advocate of Words. When you spell words, that's with a Z. Sundays is when you get to sign up for the open mic 24 hours before the show. So Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, visit neweurekan.org, click full events calendar. Then you click on the Monday you were signing up for and order an artist RSVP ticket. That will place you on the open mic. If the artist RSVP ticket is not there, that means you can't sign up for the open mic. Just like last night, for some reason it started late. So you have to wait for that to show up. That's the only way you can get onto the open mic. So with that being said, we have Jada Crosby is next. Now the name seems familiar, but I don't remember hearing Jada. Where is, here we go. Let me, wait, I think Jada has been. Let me unmute Jada. Should be able to unmute yourself. There you go.
Yes, I was here the week before last.
Okay, cool. So you are still relatively new, but I knew like, yeah, you've been here. Okay, Jada, let us know where we can find you online, and then let's hear your poetry.
All right, you can find me on Instagram. See that? Jada.9903. I'll put it in the chat as well. My poem is called My Favorite Kind of World, My Favorite Kind of People. This is a man's world. This is a woman's world. This is a man's world. This is a woman's world. Women are irrational. They are nothing but baby machines, cooking machines, cleaning machines. This is a woman's world. Now men are idiots. Boys got nothing in their heads. All they care about are sports, boobs, and beers. Who can lift the most weights? Who's built more like a machine? This is a man's world. We don't even really need women anyway. They're just here to birth the babies, cook the food, clean the house. This is a woman's world. We don't need men. They're just here to give us a little bit more sperm to make more of them when we need more women. This is a man's world. I want a girl, thick hips, big chest, tiny waist. I want a man, 8-pack abs, 7 feet tall. I hate when women complain about their periods. It can't be that bad. I'm sure it's gross though. I hate when a man can't handle a little pain. Like, don't cry about it, man up. My favorite kind of lady is the one that isn't so bitchy, so pushy. My favorite kind of man is the one that can be a man, not pushy, not demanding, but not rude. And he gotta get paid. I'm sorry, woman, I can't do this anymore. Men aren't perfect, but that doesn't mean that we take what their great-grandfathers did to our great-grandmothers and reverse it onto them. We hear about toxic masculinity, but it should be called toxic femininity. Yes, I get men are bad, so are women. We are both messed up in our heads. This is a Black people's world. This is a white people's world. This is a Hispanic's world. This is a man's world. This is a woman's world. This is a world. No gender, no race, no nothing. This is a world. This is a world for all. I want a man that's not scared to cry, not scared to be different. I want a woman that doesn't get upset if a man doesn't open a door for her, but I also want a man that doesn't act like I got 4 eyes because I opened a door for him. Why does a lady gotta be a lady or act ladylike? Why does a man gotta be a man or act manly? Why can't we act like humans or people? My favorite kind of woman, kid, man, teen, elder, are the ones that don't care what's between each other's legs, but what's in each other's hearts. Thank you.
Jada
Nice,
Crosby,
Jada.
you
Good
just so
job.
give it
Yo,
up for
Jada,
her.
that's how you
Right
rip
up.
that. Let's
That
go.
was
100%
wonderful.
real
Thank you.
talk.
Yes.
Killer,
Good to
Jada.
have you
That was
here.
amazing.
Jada Crosby speaking my language. Jada, don't forget to put your info into the chat as well. And please don't be a stranger. Love it. Jada Crosby. I love that, man. That's how I be thinking. All right. Roz is next, going to the Bronx. Roz's hair is always popping on screen, man. Always popping on screen. She's always
Hey,
ready to
y'all.
come.
Thank
Go ahead,
you.
Roz. Let the people know where they can find you, and then let's hear some fire.
So that's Through Her Big Brown Eyes on Instagram and on my website as well. And the one I'm going to perform today is called Designer of My Crown. It goes like this. Sometime in 1989, your eyes met mine for the first time, and you took me in your arms wide open. Mom and Dad received a blessing before they knew how to count their blessings, and you stepped up, divinely chosen, my lifeline, my hero, my biggest fan. With the smallest yet strongest hands, you raised me. Raised me from the nightmare it could have been to the victory it was meant to be, Mommy, my biggest cheerleader. You would put me in my place in the blink of an eye and behind my back, brag about me, gloating with pride at the fighter you helped create. Your goal was always to compensate for the unusual anatomy of the family tree that created me. You supported me through every obstacle and my journey, and for that I'm eternally grateful. You're so independent, giving, and faithful. As the years pass and time makes its mark on your oh so familiar face, in the form of creases around your eyelids and the corners of your mouth, wishing I could freeze time, but nevertheless proud to be a product of you. Happy that you were able to see the fruits of your labor and that you too get to savor my triumphs with me. I'm glad to have you. And even the smell of your food leading me home. My promise to you is never to leave you alone because you have always had my back unconditionally. I cherish the chats over coffee and inevitable strolls down memory lane. It's hard to explain what you mean to me. I'm just elated to be able to pick up the phone and ask you for la bendición because you are indeed my biggest blessing, my Achilles heel, my weakness. And yet at the same time, you strengthen me. I promise to be the highlight of your legacy, designer of my crown, my queen, you will always be. I love you, Mommy. So this is a piece that was dedicated to my grandmother.
Beautiful.
All right.
Good job.
Good job. Good job.
Good job, Ross.
Great tribute.
Yes.
Let's go, Roz.
Very
Let's go. Let's go.
All praise to
Very
all
nice.
the
Very nice.
Yeah, beautiful.
Roz representing the Bronx. You can check her out through herbigbrowneyes.com. You can also see her on Instagram through Her Big Brown Eyes. Love having Roz on. And of course, I'm a little biased. She's from the Bronx. Love it, love it. All right, next coming up, Generalissimo. Where is Generalissimo? There he is. Oh, I'm liking the background, all nice and colorful. There you go, Generalissimo. Let the people know
I
where
even
they
have a
can
new
find
hat
you.
today. It's a seersucker hat.
Nice, nice. Brother, let the people know where they can find you, and let's hear your work.
Oh, great. I gotta remember that shit. Okay, it's Brian Ira Franco on Facebook and GNRLSMO on Instagram. Oh, you know what I get to do right now? Since I didn't make the list last week, I wrote a little haiku for Advocate. I will advocate for Mr. Words just in case the witch curses him. I'm not sure who the witch is, but we might guess. Another haiku. All the dust bunnies from under the bed have moved to the ceiling fan. This is a brand new poem that is entitled, When You Don't Know All Your Words Are Tattooed on Your Face. You told me my house was made of straw and you were the big bad wolf. Your words were hurricane force winds that blew my house down. So I grew my next crop of hay in red clay so my next home could resist you. Then your words were made of fire and my charred skin broke off, revealing a leathery elephant hide that was heat and flame proof. So you decided to let your words spit acid in my face, but the tears that rolled over the hardened scars on my cheeks learned to repel it. All your words, even when you try to be nice, are laced with ruinous disdain. But when you speak at others, you are actually talking to yourself. Wind has permanently mussed your hair, leaving you unkempt looking. Fire has singed your eyebrows, permeating your warped conscience with the putrid aroma of burnt human hair. All that acid you consumed has etched nooks and crannies into your soul that can only be filled with regret. Welcome to the mirror you have chosen to live in. And this final piece is a piece I wrote for the eulogy of a friend of mine who passed away from cancer in 2016. It's called The Superstition of Beth. I will say, I'll just tell you, she played college, she played collegiate volleyball, softball, and basketball. She was a professional referee, and she also coached Little League Baseball, among a lot of other things. She was the most wonderful person I knew. So this is for the theme. So I wrote this for her funeral. Her brothers will spread her ashes upon a mount called Superstition. As their tears meld with laughter from memories of her smile, with desert dust, the Arizona wind will whistle a Stevie Wonder tune just because Elizabeth Ruth Walker has returned to her place of true happiness, and she deserves it. At dusk, her spirit will blend into the pinks, oranges, reds, and fuchsias of the sunset as if it were born there. An unassuming tumbleweed will while its way across desert floor, absorbing residue of hopefulness, unwavering loyalty, and true ability to love. It'll crash into a saguaro, piercing cactus skin just as a woodpecker decides to perch atop the towering plant and peck away to drink its water. At dawn, the bird will fly to a mesquite tree in the shadow of superstition. It will observe a small dust storm that becomes a herd of wild mustangs that stop to surround the tree. When a pack of domesticated blonde Labrador retrievers wearing Air Jordans approach the horses, the lead dog named Ebenezer challenges them to a basketball game. A silver-maned filly named Gladys accepts the challenge. Then the strange little curly-haired bird screams, "Hold up, people." It pulls out a little gym bag, unzips it, puts on a black and white striped shirt, and says, "I will officiate." After the game, they hop a jet to State Line, Mississippi for bone-in fried catfish, the world's best hush puppies, creamy coleslaw, and sweet tea that will make Dolly Parton scream, "Woo-wee!" Gracias, everyone.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to Generalissimo.
That was so beautiful.
Good job. Good
Yeah,
job.
man. That's how you rip it. That's how
Thank
you rip it.
Oh,
Generalissimo, I am sorry about your friend, and I'm so happy that you wrote about her. When we write about people, we immortalize them, and that's really what a bard is supposed to do. They're supposed to, because they talk about like how the winners, write history, but it should really be the everyday people, the bards. So shout out to Jeremy Lee Simone. Again, my condolences, brother. Thank you for the poems. And thank you for having my back in case I get cursed by La Bruja. This is filmed, it is recorded, it's on Facebook and YouTube, and I can send it to her in case she ever wants to try to curse me. All right, Alexander Goldberg is next. Let me unmute him. The Goldberg. Let them know where they can find you. Then let's hear your work, brother.
They can find me on Go15 on Twitter. Alexander Goldberg 35 on Facebook, and Korbensky on Instagram. Continuing with the romantic line started by DJ Clearing. This is titled The Only One. My favorite lady, my favorite teacher. She taught English, poetry, and also literature. I gave her the flowers. I filled up the glass. She told me, get out, kicked me out of the class. I wrote her my poems. I sent her my letters. I sang her my serenades. It didn't matter. I went to the club and I asked her to dance, but she turned me down. I got slapped in the face. I asked her for help and I told her I'm sorry. She turned up the music and kept on ignoring. I came to her class for the very last time. She told me, you're sick. I responded, I'm fine. She said, if you came, you should write down the homework. I asked, is it worth it? There's only one purpose. There's only one reason I'm here. It's to see you. I wanted to tell you this. Shall I continue? She told me, go on. And I said, I should mention, I'm tired of trying to get your attention. I asked her to marry me. She told me no. I thought it's because I don't make enough dough. But we met again. It was many years later. I liked her, although she was older and frailer. I told her that everything turned out all right. I'm reading my poetry on Monday night. I was married twice, but I was divorced twice. Most likely because I thought both of my wives were not like my teacher, and others I've dated could not match the image that I have created. The story goes on. I don't know how to end this. I'm putting 3 dots at the end of the sentence. I'll always be grateful. My love's never fading. My favorite teacher, my favorite lady.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Alexander.
Oh, nice.
Alexander, the Goldberg,
For
nice.
the win.
We've all fallen in love with the teacher. Yeah, it can be harsh.
I like it.
Yeah.
The Goldberg, you horn dog. I had a crush on my poetry teacher too. I was 18 and she was 22, 23, and she was married. But the marriage was rough and such and such. Okay, moving on. Abraham Kamani, he is more than pretty green eyes. Where is Abraham? I saw him before. Oh, there he is. There he goes, the man who's more than just his pretty green eyes. Abraham, let the people know where they can find you. Let's hear your work.
All right, folks, hopefully you guys are doing well. You can find me on Instagram at Poetically Incorrect 562 and on Facebook at Poetically Incorrect. So I got a few pieces, I got 3 short pieces and a little bit of a longer one. It's going to take 4 minutes. Actually, the first 2 is a haiku in a short piece that has the same title called Afrophilia. Geocentric hair and heliocentric skin, Afrophilia. My hair is the earth spinning around in a circle, changing the color of the sky from blue to purple. My skin is the sun, warming up the waves of heat, soaking the beaming rays of light, shining in the street. The stars look at me with a twinkle in their eye, singing praises of my beauty that will never die. The clouds smile at me with even teeth, pearly white, thanking me for being present to make the world bright. I proudly declare Africa is my mother, creating me in her image, a strong Black lover. And the next 2 pieces, I describe my favorite fantasy lady as a girl named April. And these are jazz pieces, so if you guys are into jazz music, you will probably recognize a lot of the jazz titles I refer to. And this is a series of haikus right here. April in Paris, my favorite springtime love, drenched in French kisses. Aboard the A train, her black and tan fantasy put me in the mood for making whoopee to her fine body and soul inside our hot house. On Route 66, I ate my sweet satin dolls, honeysuckle rose. Under the stardust, she came in my solitude one stormy Monday. I go home singing, I got my love to keep me warm every day. When I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning next to my baby, ain't misbehaving, in a sentimental mood to take giant steps, busting salt peanuts on a night in Tunisia at the Yardbird Suite, giving her a kiss to build a dream on until I hit the road, Jack. And this last piece is called A Black and Tan Fantasy Aboard the A-Train. Last night, I had a black and tan fantasy of being at the Eiffel Tower on a stormy Monday evening in the summertime, sharing a passionate French kiss with April in Paris. Her breath was the scent of a honeysuckle rose I could not help but inhale as our tongues kept spinning on top of each other in a dizzy atmosphere under the pearly white stardust in the sky. We were more than just friends. I was her lover man, she was my satin doll, giving me a kiss to build a dream on, letting my wild, free-spirited imagination put me in the mood, all kind of moods. Parker's mood, Monk's mood, Moody's mood, all in a sentimental mood to take some giant steps over to the famous Mood Indigo and engage in a hot and heavy recording session of Making Whoopee. That is, until I heard what sounded like an army of dancers stomping at the Savoy, heading west on Route 66 to invade our hot house. April did her best to convince me that it ain't nobody here but us chickens. But my not so virgin ears heard correctly when the saints come marching in, telling me to stop in the name of love. Until the real thing comes along, my body and soul need to be delivered from this sin. I told these so-called saints, these self-righteous, lending, hopping Pharisees, to hit the road, Jack, with all that hypocritical jive. Because me and my baby ain't misbehaving. Because it ain't nothing wrong with making a Sunday kind of love on a night in Tunisia. After the saints left, I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning singing, every day I have the blues in my solitude aboard the A-train, because my black and tan fantasy was abruptly and rudely interrupted in pieces.
Unmute yourself.
Thanks, Abraham. Yes,
Come
yes.
on.
That was
Yeah.
fantastic, man.
Fire,
That
bro.
was a
Fire.
great
Straight up, man.
montage.
Fire.
Abraham Kamani, he is more than just his pretty green eyes. Poets, make sure that you check the chat after you perform. I was looking in the chat and I just found out that Mary Blenderman is a DJ who mixes jazz music, and she really loves the poem. So Abraham, make sure you hit her up. Shout out to Maxie, who's using Rose's account on Facebook. I see you posting. And shout out to La Bruja. Bru, I have to speak to you later. I don't know if you saw the beginning of the show, but she's checking us out on Facebook. So shout out to her. She hosts a Thursday night online open mic, and that actually came before the Monday night online open mic. And because of the success that happened on Thursday, we have a Monday. So shout out to her. Next up, coming from San Francisco, Joshua Kernia. But there he is. He just put his video on. I didn't see him. Joshua,
Hey
let the
guys.
people know where they can find you. Then let's hear your work.
Yeah, so you can find me on IG, Joshua_Kernia, or my podcast, A Line by Line. I'm gonna put it in the chat. And I wrote a poem to the theme. It's called All the Imperfect Lovely Things My Mama Is. So it's definitely dedicated to my mom. The blue kettle starts to whistle as she zips through our small kitchen like a love missile. Sweat dripping from her forehead, one hand on the wok, another with a spatula. With every mosquito bite in this horrendous humid air and countless miscut fingers scare, with every bad rice and neglected sacrifice, and with each accidental splatter of hot oil, skin assault, or accidental spill of salt, that's when I understand who my mama is. I would run as soon as that school bell rings, knowing that you, out of all distracting things, are waiting for me with your smile and invisible wings. So ready to embrace me with whatever shit I went through, or however blue or black my heart subdue. Mama never leaves. Her 4'11" stature never fails to be the show catcher, even in the most crowded circus. Perhaps it's her humongous laughter revealing the gum of her teeth that is her superpower, though she would always be ashamed of it after. Or perhaps it's the fact that she couldn't hold her pee when she uncontrollably couldn't stop laughing is the most endearing quality of her being. Or maybe when she is blushing so red, highlighting her two ping pong cheeks like a boiled crab. That's my mama. She would force me to learn the piano, no matter how many times I screamed, "No more piano." She would always be ready to welcome Papa in front of the door with perfectly timed warm dinner on the table for four. She would break down and question life, pacing through strife, yet every time she would thrive. She would put fat, meaty chicken thighs on my plate and grab the thin, bony, definitely questionable neck piece on hers she ate. She would swallow the so-called bitter pills every time her voice is killed. And she would stand in the kitchen the entire day to make me stay for some days. Yet I still find ways to betray. We don't say I love you enough, just like any other Asian sons and daughters out there. Yet through virtual hugs from 8,658 miles away, technical issues, infested video calls, and passive-aggressive texts, I feel her love like a velvet glove protecting me from the evils of the world. I use her fragile yet unbreakable sensitivity as a sturdy shield every day I go to the battlefield. And I embrace her sacrifice to pick myself back up every time I break due to an imperfect splice. My mama is a warrior, and I would have vanished a long time ago if it's not because of her, because of all the imperfect, lovely things my mama is. And poem.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Joshua Kernia.
Joshua,
Way to
that's so
go.
good. Yes, I love your mom too. Just out of that, it's like,
Amazing, Josh.
Shout out to all the mothers
That was
out there. That was
incredible.
nice, Josh.
what a smile, what a laugh.
Joshua Kernia. Make sure you check out his podcast, Align by Line. And when you spell align, it means like align, like you're aligning things. ALIGN. Align by Line. That is Joshua Kernia, slowly becoming the mainstay here. I think this is third time sharing with us, but his fourth week hanging out with us. That's what's up. I love San Francisco. Shout out to the Bay Area. It's one of my favorite places in the country. And shout out to Australian Ellis checking us out on YouTube. That's right. We have people dropping a lot of comments on YouTube and Facebook. So after you guys perform after tonight, make sure you go check out the videos on Facebook and YouTube and see what the people are saying about you. Next up is the trendsetter, Vale Larkin. Vale loves being called a trendsetter. So find out where you can find Vale online and then send Vale a couple of messages saying, I understand when they call you trendsetter. They love it. Okay, Vale, let them know they can find you online so they can harass you, and then let's hear your awesome work.
Good that you're setting me up for that. Yeah, I'm Facebook, vale.larkin.writes, and Instagram, I'm Vale Larkin, all one word, and that's in chat. I'm kind of taking this in a different direction for today because I felt like it. I'm reading a section of a piece I've read sections of before called Words of the Prophets. And this is a section about a group of skater kids that I knew when I was housing insecure. And both boys and girls. And a lot of them were homeless. A lot of them had real problems at home. It was a whole thing. So this is the whole section because it's not that long. It starts with some statistics. It goes into a brief story about the inspiration, the real person who was the inspiration behind the poem, and then it goes into the poem. 4.2 million American children are homeless at any given time. Approximately 700,000 are unaccompanied by a parent or guardian. Of those children, an estimated 40% are members of the LGBTQI community. Once, there was a young man called Christopher Robin. He was always called this, but it was not his name. His mother schizophrenic, no father, no siblings. He raised himself on the street, and his mother too. He was hard-won muscle and stoicism, but his eyes and voice were always gentle. He sold doors that were illegal to people not permitted to take up any room. It was an improvement, he felt, on the things that children must sometimes do in order to live. He was beautiful and stronger than he let on. No easy meat. The ballet. We're waking up. The smell of sun-warmed dust like a promise in the air. No huddling and huffing a damp day away. No, we're rising, all of us together, our fledgling flock. We're shaking off torn blankets and dreams of some mysterious world where we are children instead of what we are, free. We're sharing out food filched the night before, have to fuel the day's dance. We're that fast, our boards, our bodies hard and lean. We slide past into the teeming streets. We slip along through narrowing mazes of steel and flesh, horns and hollers to cheer us on our way. Speed's not the only, lost my place. Speed's not the only trick, but it's the real rush, the roaring, soaring sweetness, the ecstasy of falling forever. We're not aiming at that final target. We just won't flinch if it hits. We're alive, more than all those stiff-collar, souped-up specimens living their aquarium lives, watched constantly by their bosses for any sign they should be fished out and left to flounder. They always walk with grim faces, like they're going to be late for the part where food falls from the sky. They're trapped, but at least they're comfortable, they say into their pillows at night. We're breaking the concrete waves of the here, the now, the never-ending moment. We're not the face of the future, and none of us look back, not once. We're not racing toward, but away. And who would blame birds who fled a burning nest? We may flee, but it's still flying, flying sky high forever. We're a liquid. We fill our space. We flow, foaming around obstacles and splitting fractal-like into deltas of scintillating energy. We are moved by every pebble on the pavement, but we stop for nothing. We seethe, scouring our paths, scoring the dust of the road in wild whirls. We ride, and we wear down the hardness of the city.
Unmute yourselves. Give some love to the trendsetter, Vale.
Yeah, that was so true. That was so much truth.
That was always freaking amazing.
Take care of one of them. That's all.
Vale Larkin. Make sure that you follow Vale Larkin on Facebook and Instagram. Vale is a real writer. You just check out their Facebook posts and responses. And Vale can't help but do it like, can't make a regular Facebook social media post. Has to be like all creative, speaking with their muse. Should I say this muse? Okay, da, da, da. And they do all that. In fact, Vale wrote a very nice, lengthy piece about Mary Blenderman. So make sure you go check that out. Vale Larkin, V-A-Y-L Larkin. Next up, Lopi Leroux. And I saw Lopi here. Wait, I hope I'm saying that name right. There's Lopi. I hope, correct me if I'm saying the name wrong. I think this is her first time with us.
Hey guys, yeah, it's my first time. And here's
and how do you pronounce your name?
Oh, it rhymes with Hopi, Lopi.
Oh, okay, so I'm saying it right.
Or if you must, low pee, like you're peeing low, but don't think that. I'm here, this is my situation online. I'm a street artist, so if you go here, you'll see my murals. And this is my Insta. Anyway, okay, so
nice.
I'm so
Real
happy
quick,
to be here.
Lopi, before you begin, where are you located?
I'm in Vermont.
Oh, okay.
I'm in southern Vermont in the Green Mountains of Vermont. I moved here from Brooklyn 2 years ago. So yeah, anyway, thank you for hosting this, Advocate. You're awesome. I really enjoy watching from remotely before. Anyway, here I am. I have a short dedication to my favorite lady, and then I have a stream of consciousness to share with you guys. So let me pull up this. Okay. My favorite lady is a goddess, and she smells like earth, like soil, like the giver of all life, like the empress of the verdant hills, singing ancient hymns of rich moss and deep green breathing, her bruised knees a sublime grace. Those microbes bring resilience. My favorite lady is the dirt queen, Mother Earth. And you guys are all like, I can see your appreciation. I appreciate your appreciations. Now this is just unedited stream of consciousness. Feeling content to watch droplets of rain she was breathing. Anthills were built in a day back then. They were not made into molehills or mole holes or mountains out of waterfalls of insecure college graduates hoping the world will hold them tenderly. They Xeroxed their DNA back then. It was all the rage, peanut, apple butter, saucy lads, and also westward bound cowboys on horses who tamed the frontier and wreaked genocide, made the land absorb the blood of entire families who were only existing without Western clothing. Pelicans dive in a corkscrew pattern. Youth drive drunk and die around a tree. Trees are beings whose essence is not captured in the word tree. Still they sing for Jesus in the ambulance on their way to church. Nowadays, that is the emergency. Church is the emergency. Emerging, urgency, emerge urgent. The cat waited for Armageddon by his food bowl. The bird and the cat are singing. They are speaking their languages. Only they know how hungry they are for changes. The kids are reaching for the future, and it's burning their collective hands. The future is burning. The future is burning. The grown-ups think we need another study. Meanwhile, who is really in control here? You're not your body, he said on the stage in front of thousands of bodies who are not themselves. Hallucinations are a collective disorder that only sees what is projected on the screen of daily reality. People think conservation is a good idea or a way to get likes on Instagram until they actually run out of water because their lawns are perfectly green, the kind of green that belongs to the trees. The smell of cut grass rose up into the air like childhood. Her nostrils were receptacles of memories. The mnemonics of her olfactory were churning out the sky brain tower. Musical notes waltzed down Broadway, riding the cataclysmic trolleys of destructions. No one saw it coming except everyone. No one saw it coming except everyone. No one saw it, but then they did see it, and it wasn't an amazing grace, it was an amazing about face as they turned to run from the tidal wave. After the water subsided, the timed sprinklers came on all across suburban diaspora of death. The shopping mall was echoing with the smooth whir of bicycle tires as the bike gang silently rolled through for their annual Armageddon tour. They didn't know what they knew before the mortars fell on the dead angels in the field of meet me somewhere outside of wrongdoing. The children of the angels rose up singing to the gypsy moths as they flew into the light at the end of the tunnel.
Unmute yourselves. Give some love to
Very nice, Lopi. Very nice.
Wow, that's a hell of a way to
Go, go, go.
Oh, man, that's amazing.
Thank you. Can I show you my painting really quick?
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Wow,
Whoa, we got a great new talent here.
Amanda,
Awesome.
Amanda Gordon. She's my hero. She's my favorite lady. Okay, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.
Beautiful.
Lopi LaRoe. I love, I love when we have people who come in here all the time and we get to find out who they are and all that. But I also love the new voices. Lopi LaRoe, please do not be a stranger. Also, put your website into the chat because human beings, we like to be lazy and we like to copy and paste. So make sure that you give them a chance to go check out your website, put it in the chat. Lopi LaRoe, I love it, love it. Don't be a stranger. Unmesh Mohitkar, who's on the other side of the world in India and having breakfast, is joining us. Unmesh, let the people know where they can find you, then let's hear your work, brother.
Hi everyone, I am Unmesh Mohitkar on Instagram, Mohitkar Unmesh on Twitter. I'm everywhere, okay? But let's go with my short poems. Today I've got all short stuff. The first one is called Past. Idyllic seashore, idyllic seashore made him remember his past. The past kept in a tight lock. That was the first one. Second one is called The Cusp of Glory. At the cusp of glory, at the cusp of glory, he remembered the blood-stained battles, gruesome, gory. That was the third one is called Leader. Shrewd leader, merciless with enemies, merciful with followers, enemies kill, followers died, leader rules, long live the leader. The last one is called I Looked the Other Way. World in flames. I was ice cold. People died. I looked the other way. Loot and rape, not a news. I adopted the new normal. Hiding in my cocoon like a raccoon, ignorant fool, engulfed in fire, ignoring blaze. Fire killed me. Soul did not suffer. It was dead long before. Soul did not suffer. It was dead long before. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Unmute yourself and
Good job. Very nice.
Yes, always with the heat, Unmesh. Always with the heat.
Love it, man.
Unmesh Mohitkar out from India. Unmesh is like Oprah in a sense with his poetry, right? Like you remember in the old Oprah was like, you get a car, you get a car. Unmesh with all of the words, word, every syllable in his poem, it's like, you're gonna get special attention, you get special attention. Everything is energy. I love it. Unmesh Mohitkar, give that dude a follow. Kingston Nolly is next. Is Kingston here? I don't think I saw Kingston. Kingston Nolly. No, I don't see him. Signed up. Oh, okay, gonna have to move on. Also, Paul Conqueso hit me up. He was on the open mic list. He's unable to make it. Marissa Prada is next. So that means Elizabeth Strauss. Oh, I didn't wear my beanie for nothing. Elizabeth Strauss is now number 25. Right now, we're going to Marissa Prada and her cut out heart, her glittering heart that she shares so wonderfully with everyone. Oh, I just got a message that Kingston is here. Okay, after Marissa.
Kingston. Yay, Kingston!
We're gonna go to Kingston right after you, Marissa. So Marissa, let the people know where they can find you online, and then let's hear your poem.
Oh man, I was so looking forward to hearing Kingston first, but that's totally cool. No problem. All right, so I am on Facebook and Instagram, Marissa Prada, and then Prada Painting and Poetry on IG. I also co-author The Word Is Right, W-R-I-T-E, with Ma Dukes, and I author Poetography 505 on Facebook. We also just launched a publishing house, Red or Green Books. Red is R-E-A-D. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do 3 haikus in a poem. This is going to be like a little darker night than y'all are used to, but we're celebrating our favorite women. So here we go. So haiku number 5. An empty plate cannot feed, whether food, love, or life. Do not starve tonight. Haiku 6. Unless you know the dark place, it's impossible to know how bright the light is. And haiku number 7, I am impatient. You are quietly missing. I long for your mouth. So here's my poem. I'm going to do a trigger warning for suicide. I'm going to do a breath before this poem. This is dedicated to my best friend, Crystal, who chose to take her own life a year and a half ago. And this is in the upcoming chat book, Conversations with Grief. It's titled, Keep On Keeping On. Have you ever had a gun pulled on you? Barrel long of metal, hollow, dark. Startled heart palpates in your chest, that happy little trigger finger, your own finger wrapped around your own trigger handle in your hand, small, light, steel, click of the chamber loaded, pressing pressure of that finger, of that barrel, of that gun in your face. Fantasy, fiction, no realization, any hesitation, any tears, fears, worries, or relief. It's all about to be over, slumped over, bleeding on the bed from your head, hole in the soul, feathers floating about your room. Too soon you have gone, dear song of my heart, to that dark place. Daydream days, no more fighting each damn day to come up for air, then sink in the drowning dread. No more now, you are dead for us to do, except push through. Go it alone for each other, and then again, all over tomorrow.
Unmute yourselves and let's get
So
some
sorry for your loss. So sorry for
product.
Crystal.
Rest in peace,
Thank you so
Crystal.
much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Big love.
Thank you for
Big
sharing.
love.
Rest in peace, Crystal. My condolences, Marissa. I truly apologize. Make sure that you go check out Marissa. Like she said, she has her hands in a lot of different cookie jars, so go check her out. Marissa Prada on Facebook. I know she mentioned a lot of different things she's involved in. Just go look her up on Facebook. She posts all her stuff on there. You can check it out, Marissa Prada. And of course, rest in peace to Crystal. Okay, Kingston Nolly. Kingston Nolly is here. Where's Kingston Nolly? Oh wait, Kingston, got to put your video on. I think that's why I didn't see Kingston last time. Are you there, Kingston? Sometimes, that's the thing about Zoom. Sometimes we have some shoddy internet connections. I'm trying to unmute Kingston. All right. Kingston, oh, there we go. Can we hear you? Kingston, you there?
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
There we go. I hear you now. I hear you now. Okay, go ahead, Kingston. Let us know where we can find you online, and the floor is yours. Oh, Kingston. Okay. Must be having some problems with their internet. Kingston, when you get back on or you get adjusted, make sure that you hit me up, because for some reason we're not hearing you. There's something probably wrong with the internet. The one downfall of doing on Zoom, this is so great doing all this stuff online. We're getting to reach people like in the Philippines, Japan. We just heard someone from India. But of course, the problem is too that we are also at the mercy of technology. Mr. Speaker is next. After Mr. Speaker, we'll check back in with Kingston Nolly. Where? Oh, there's Mr. Speaker. Oh, snap. He got the red background with the hearts. Oh, snap. Is he gonna, Mr. Speaker's gonna get all soft on this? I always say if we're going into war, Mr. Speaker's our general. There he is. Let him know where they can find you, brother. Then let's hear your stuff.
Yeah, just it's right there on my right behind my head. So let's go to the poetry. Raising a queen, my important person. To my baby girl, how I love you so. My princess, my future, you are connected to my soul. 1 September is the day our eyes met. Yes, love at first sight, I will never forget. I have prayed and waited years to hold you in my arms and hands. I cut your umbilical cord, and that is how our relationship began. Your protector, father, teacher, cheerleader. See, I saw the first breath you drew. Understand this, I am the first man to love you. No other person's love will ever match my love for you, as it is as pure as distilled water. See, the strongest bond ever is that between a father and his daughter. My heart was pounding. I was so nervous, but I was your first, the first to hold you, kiss you, feed you, look you in the eyes and quench your thirst. See, it was me who inspected you from head to toe along with the nurse. Baby girl, I love you so much as you are a gift from my heavenly Father above. I am raising you to be a queen, so receive this guidance from your earthly father with love. You are a princess, a lady, so carry yourself with dignity and respect. No loud talking or cursing in public, and your manners you should never neglect. Never drink directly from cans or bottles, no matter the cost. And always make sure you sit with your legs or your ankles crossed. Please display integrity, confidence, honesty. And no matter the trial, always keep your head about you. And when things get tough, just relax, calm down, and smile. My heart, draw your strength and confidence from me as I pray God guides you through. Remember, if our Heavenly Father is for you, it doesn't matter what stands against you. You are a natural born leader, raised in love. So lead others with your heart. Always speak the truth and stand against injustice. Show others love and from God never depart. Baby girl, make your father happy. Graduate from high school and then go on to college. Always remain open to learning. And after graduation, continue to seek more knowledge. My princess, always keep your word and honor every pledge you make. When you do not keep your word, it is the heart of your father that you break. Study whatever you want, do whatever you like. And when you start something, don't ever quit. Do something you are passionate about, and above all, be great at doing it. You come from a long line of strong, beautiful African women, now mixed with Indian and white. Your bloodline is strong. See, that is why everyone knows you to be my princess on sight. You are named after my mother, your grandmother, Catherine, who raised me to be king. You are a Proverbs 31 woman, and you, baby girl, are a good thing. Baby, live your life on purpose. Do not stay on your phone or glued to that computer screen. Keep your head and eyes up and focused as I am raising you to be a queen. In peace.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Mr. Speaker.
Yes, good job.
Yes. So
Awesome.
Mr. Speaker, spit that.
Two daughters.
Spit
That
that. Raise that
power,
queen.
man.
Yes,
Crazy.
yes.
That was incredible.
Lucky man.
MrSpeakerInc.com. When you spell ink, it's like ink from a pen, I-N-K, MrSpeakerInc.com. Make sure that you go and check him out. And I hear all these beautiful poems about when babies are born. When my son was born, I panicked. I panicked when he was crowning. I panicked when the nurse was working on him. I panicked when I cut the umbilical cord. I was just one big old panic. It was like 6 a.m. when he was born, but still, I panicked. Nonetheless, love it. Mr. Speaker, check him out, James F. Sears. Now we're going to Kingston Nolly. He has fixed his internet. Kingston, let the people know where they can find you. Then let's hear that fire.
Hey, you can find me on Facebook at Kingston Nolly, Nalli, and on IG at kingston.nolly. So I have 2 poems tonight, like a shorter one and a slightly longer one. Both of them are dedicated to my grandmother. First one is Everybody's Child. When I met her, she had a young face, old eyes, wide nose, a wider smile. Ma'abua, Misye, Kaonyena, Kaingoma. Thank God for this moment, for my grandmother, for my namesake. I wrapped my arms around her slim frame, felt her heart's beat unconditional love. We could finally be at peace. That bliss lasted a week. Seared into my memory is the image of my grandmother pleading with my parents to stop fighting. I couldn't stop my grandmother's heart from breaking. My mind was splitting into two. All those years of work for her to bring her here, only for her to meet neglect and abuse. I didn't know which parent to choose, not realizing that at the time, the right thing to do was to stick to my grandmother like glue. After years of putting up with my parents, my grandmother went back home. I wanted to go to see the place where love and respect enveloped her, and maybe for the first time in years, feel a sense of security. After she left, I never saw her again. The last phone call we had, our conversation fell through the static of a weak connection. The last thing my grandmother said to me in slow English, I love you. We share the same middle name, Tigbi. In Mende, it means everybody. My grandmother was everybody's child in her home village. She grew to be everybody's mother wherever she lived. I never lived up to her name. I am nobody. And this poem is called Hail Mary. I specifically wrote it for tonight. In a handmade bookshelf rests the remains of our relationship. A rosary missing half its beads, broken like my heart when she returned to our ancestral home. Half of me is across an ocean in a land that my feet have never touched. A handmade bookshelf is the home of a picture of us together. It's funny. Neither of us quite knew how to gift a smile to the camera. My chin was pointed to the ground, my eyes not quite level with the lens next to me, her body relaxed, her eyes right on target, transcending the years, staring straight into me. In the picture, we are both wearing green, her dress, the color of rainy season palm leaves. In this picture, I see the fabric gleam in my mind. I can feel its sheen. I need to touch that dress again. I look at this picture longing to have more than an incomplete rosary and the memory of my father telling me that I stole her picture from him. I don't care. I need this. I need this framed moment of the calm before the storm, before the stroke, before she saw the sham that was our family. I can't. I don't have the stamina to hold together the stitches in my heart much longer. I don't know if the fissures have healed. I fear that the dams in my mind will fail and a flood of emotions will engulf me. I close my eyes. I hear her calling. I hear her knocking on my bedroom door at dawn. I have to go home, not my house, my home, and return my heart to the place where she rests. Half full, rosary in hand, I pray that the peace will wash over me. My spirit yearns to be whole. Even a moment is enough. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for
Very
Kingston.
nice. Very nice, Kingston.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Very nice,
Absolutely
Kingston. Very
beautiful.
nice, man.
Gorgeous.
Let it rip.
Beautiful ode to your grandmother. Love it.
Really touching.
Kingston, Nolly, Kingston, I'm glad we were able to get your internet connection working. Make sure you look up Kingston, Nolly, give him a follow. And I appreciate the showmanship. I appreciate slowly bringing in the rosary there. Awesome. I love it when everyone gets creative, a little more thoughtful on Zoom. Appreciate it. Kingston, Nolly. Next coming up is Michael Sindler. And we hadn't heard from Michael Sindler in several weeks. And then he came on last week. He gave up his spot so Catherine Bedan could get on. So they switched spots because Catherine was in the waiting list. And then we called Michael, but he had left. He was going to get to come on again. Nonetheless, I'm happy to have you here.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, it is great to be back. And yeah, rather I put it in the chat, but rather than anything I'm doing, I do want to call out lighthouseriders.org, which is actually where I was for those several weeks, taking a class there, which was really cool. So that being said, I kind of changed up what I thought I would do just because Marissa just really hit me hard with that piece that I just really think that's such a beautiful tribute. And so this is a sonnet called Lisa. No suicide shattered me like Lisa's. The pain stabs deep when it's someone you love. From the edge, angels whispered on breezes, but demons in her mind gave her the shove. She'd call, desperate and incoherent, left rambling messages on the phone. When I'd pick up, listen to her lament, I'd try and pull her from the danger zone. Her brain betrayed her, was a saboteur. When last we talked, she was so paranoid. With a gun some brainless fool had lent her, she fled her torment, leapt into the void. Those left behind vainly search for answers, but we don't succeed as necromancers. And this is just a little bit more light, I guess, for someone else I love. It's called Resting. Shell found on a beach, cicada in a matchbox, simple band of gold, weathered white skull of a mouse, necklace of worn amber beads, flower from garden pressed within a book of poems, photo, two lovers resting in each other's arms, print curled and turning yellow. And I'm going to end up with one which is real. And see, if I'd been in a slam, I would have been disqualified right there. This is called On My Phone, and it's a triolet. I have a picture on my phone of my mother as she's dying. I'm glad that she was not alone. I have a picture on my phone as she's transcending flesh and bone. To this call, there's no replying. I have a picture on my phone of my mother as she's dying. Once again, it's really great to be back. Thank y'all, everybody.
Thank you, Michael.
Give energy to Michael, man. Let's go.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that. Yes,
So deep.
right to the heart, right here.
Great tribute to your mom.
Yes.
Welcome back, Michael. Michael, beautiful, man.
Michael Sindler. Michael, make sure you put that website that you talked about into the chat so that the people could see it. Thank you so much for coming back, and thank you for cutting your heart and bleeding out on the Zoom call for us with your poetry. I really appreciate that, man. Michael Sindler, a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. I missed you, man. Glad to see you back around. All right, real quick, I want to give some shout outs to people who are checking this out that didn't sign up. Well, I want to shout out again Lope Leroux. She is painting in the background. So those of you on Zoom, you can check that out. Awesome to Lope. Scott Pleasance, who was on Facebook, left a message. He came by, checked us out on Zoom. Shout out to Scott. Good to see you, brother. Epiphany Divine. She has been enjoying everyone's poetry with her bright smile. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Thank you, Epiphany, for being here. Thomas Connor, who usually rocks out with us. He's not on the list tonight, but he's coming to hang out. I see, giving love. Thank you. Diane Ward. Love having Diane here. She's like wisdom and youth, like this vibrancy. I love having her on. Shout out to Diane Ward. Who else do we have here that's not signed up? Jody, Andrew is on the waiting list. Darkman Blues is here again. Shout out to him. Poetic Desire in the building. What's up, Poetic? How are you? Glad you checking this out. Queen Ray Jane in the building. Love having Ray Jane around. Midnight is here. Oh, Dark Man Blues is Complicated Passions. Okay, now I know who is who. I usually just call him Complicated Passions. Dark Man Blues. He just came out with a book. Look him up. Timothy Belgrave always checking in, giving us love. Shout out to Timothy. Appreciate you, man. Kendra Coilier, I hope I'm saying your last name right. I'm sorry. I'm loving your picture. You look really happy when you took that picture. Shout out to Kendra. Catherine Yu is checking us out. I think Catherine is the woman who has 2 daughters and she is in Japan. I think that's who Catherine is. If not, I'm sorry. Nonetheless, shout out to Catherine. JWG, I don't know who you are, but I love your picture looking like a model. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so I will get back to shouting out people who are not on the list, but let's keep moving forward. Oh, I also want to shout out Marlon Carey on Facebook, MJ Blackwell on Facebook, and hi to Melanie. Melanie, you made it. Shout out to Migdalia for tagging you, and you made it. I hope to see you around more often, Melanie. All right. With that being said, I think it's Mr. Tessa Somo who's next. Yes, it is. Mr. Tessa Somo. And oh, there he is. He has my favorite background, man. And his niece drew that. That's awesome. So, Mr. Tessa Somo, let the people know where they can find you online, and then let's hear your work, brother.
All right, I dropped it on the chat, and I'm ready to roll, buddy. So this is from my girl, Pandemia. Old man river, that old man river, he must have known something. Don't say nothing, he just keeps them rolling. He keeps on rolling along. He don't want to plant taters, he don't want to plant cotton, and then plantains is soon forgotten. But old man river, he just keep them rolling along. As the potential for a restorative point approaches, we're hearing the mantra of a return to a nostalgic normalcy, that mythical past that never really existed, but highly advertised by the passion peddlers and the putrid pundits. The positioning of the minority rule back at the end of the production, legitimizing the wolf's game of tyrannically taking its bites. The pandemic pendejos pushing to reopen their extractive oligarchies in their putative paranoia of missing out on a profit at the expense of your essential life. The restructured class of experts who prop up the minority rule and justify the putative profiteers need to bury their aged and learned comrades and continue to act against the interests of the common people. While this national historical taking has its ontology via Aristotle's democracy, that is the notional republic of property, if you ain't got any, you ain't nobody. The pandemic plutocracy is ready to evict you from your republic. Long gone is the meritocracy of the Pentacosio Medine, the men of 500 bushels who could serve as generals, the Hippites who could serve as knights, the Segutites, the tillers who own at least one beast of burden, and the lowly Thedes, the manual labor like you and I, the bare life of essential worker. The aristocracy has already capitalized the pandemic paranoia, engorging their capital coffers of the 98 trillion of household wealth held by the richest 20% based on the National Bureau of Economic Research. While they starve you out at home, while you sulk in the existential anxiety of unemployed, while they lament if you deserve a lousy $1,400 check. Don't fall for the desiring machine that coerces you into demanding the inverted totalitarianism, the system where corporations corrupted and subverted democracy, where economics becomes the best politics, where the failed mantra of it has to be market-driven solution consumes every natural resource and living being are commodified and exploited by the large corporations to the point of collapse as excess consumerism and sensationalism lulls and manipulates us into surrendering our liberties and our participation in governmentality. We must own the nostalgic norm us into the contagion, the virulent virus and the cancerous cause. The problem with saying when things get back to normal means we won't resume regular life for a while. Some things have changed permanently. Abandon the days of pining for getting back to normal. This ain't gonna be like a light switch you turn on and off. Things have irrevocably changed. Those temporary layoffs have become permanent job losses. Welcome to the empire of retraining. 16% of small businesses have disappeared. There won't be any family feud with the loss of over 500,000 of our loved ones. The malaise of our melancholia will linger from our irreconcilable remorse and atonement. We will be caught in the Stockdale paradox like the prisoners of war experience. Like have our fellow POWs who were the ones who realized they were going to be living in captivity for an exceedingly long time. While those who were optimistic prisoners were pinned, their hopes on being released fell apart. We will take the adage from Heraclitus, no man ever steps into the same river twice, for it is not the same river and he's not the same man. We are left to join the hymnal of Old Man River. Long old river keeps hearing that song. You ain't me, you sweating and straining, but all aching, rock with pain. Tote that barge, lift that bale, get a little drunk, and end up in jail. The reality is, Norma wasn't working for many of us. Thank you.
Mute yourselves, give it up.
Still isn't working for us.
Typically fantastic. Always strong, man. Always strong.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Always such.
Mr. Tessa Somok, I like to say he is a bard in a room full of poets. I still don't know how he does it, but he does. And the pandemic bendejos are not to be confused with the pandemic poets, two different people. Shout out to Mr. Tessa Somok, Gaseous 2019 on Instagram. Give him a follow. Next up is the wild card, AKA the withdrawn. Let me unmute him. My beard brother, looking good. He letting it grow in. The withdrawn, let them know where they can find you. Then let's hear that fire.
My man, thank you. Y'all can find me at The Withdrawn on Instagram and thewithdrawn.com. And my piece is titled, It's the Laugh for Me. The way it exfoliates the stress, invites the mind to rest. I don't mind the ass, but it was facts when they said the best curve on a woman is the one on her face. Let's grow old together so I can embrace the other curves that start to take place. Forget about decreasing the murder rate. I'll keep you feeling young without all the chemicals and surgeries. Relationship on expansion way past the honeymoon stage. Obviously, feelings flourish. They change. But it all comes down to the bookmarks that are our hearts always lying on the same page. And when you think the book ends, it never really does. The published document becomes a part of your existence, a part of your being. That's what happens when you come across a good read. But in my plans, we write more chapters, create more books. Our love story goes on forever, even when death do us part. Someone tell Lemony Snicket, it'll be a series of eternal events. So baby, take my hand and laugh with me endlessly. 'Cause the traffic of this electricity is all we really need. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up.
Withdrawn.
Withdrawn.
Very nice.
Go, man.
Read.
All right.
Yes.
Genius, withdrawn.
Very nice.
And that was dope.
The Withdrawn, you can find them at thewithdrawn.com or The Withdrawn on Instagram. I love when everyone's trying to yell over each other when we unmute. And that curves line, the best curves are the ones on the woman's face. Dude, that's the kind of line you say when you want to get laid. Oh, I wrote that down. It's going to work this week for me. Watch. Next week, I'll tell you how it worked for me. TheWithdrawn.com, The Withdrawn on Instagram. Go check them out. Meerkat is next. Where is Andy? Andy Markert, shout out to his father, Mr. Markert. Andy, let the people know where we can find you online, then get into it.
Hey everybody, you can find me online at Andy Meerkat with 2 T's on Instagram, and you can watch me post little snippets of stuff and videos like this one. I'm very, very happy to be back with you guys. It's been a rough month or so, and I just want to say it's very nice to be home. I'm off theme mostly because I didn't know the theme, sorry. And this is some new shit that I've never read before, so we're gonna figure this out as we go. Here we go. This piece is called The Space Between Sleep and Waking. I keep having the same dream over and over, where I'm standing on a beach watching the waves roll in. The ocean is a terrible thing, tinged dark blue with melancholy. I used to see you out there, just at the edge of my vision on the horizon, bright light reflecting off the dark blue like neon lights cutting through the dark night, like a road sign on the interstate of my life, bright and longing and home. Now it's just dark clouds. I can't see beyond my horizon, but maybe that's the point. My feet are rooted in the sand. I cannot move my arms. The water's so cold, I feel like I'm melting. The sand so wet, it might as well be concrete. Sharp, jagged shelves cutting into soft feet, the salt on my lips. I cannot tell if they are tears or an ocean spray slapped sting to my face. They taste so similar. I think I want to wade out into that ocean of my desire. I think if I swim hard enough forward, I'll find what I want. Maybe the clouds will open. Maybe I can chase my dream harder. I wish I knew how to swim better. Fuck, how easy it would be just to pick up that needle or chew that pill and let that water take me. How deep my desire for self-destruction lies just beneath the surface of those waves. Fuck, she's such a beautiful siren of pain. I wouldn't even notice how pretty the song would be before my obliteration. It'd be just like meeting an old friend again after so many years. Her razor nails across my face. I wonder if she still knows the words that make me melt. I wonder if she missed me. My feet are in the sand, hands white knuckle gripping nothingness. And then I wake up. And perhaps that is the victory. Thanks.
Ooh, unmute yourselves. Give it up for Andy.
Nice.
Andy.
Wow. Wow.
Love you, man. Welcome back home.
Andy Markert. Oh, I am sorry, Andy, that it's been a rough couple of. We have missed you. I'm glad to hear your voice and your poetry and your noise. My heart like exploded when you said it. It's good to be back home. Fuck yeah, this is your home, Andy. Make sure that you come back. Don't become a stranger for too long. Andy Markert, give that dude a follow. That is a freaking poet. Okay, next up, Jody Ortega. Here's Jody.
Hello.
Trying to unmute you, Jody. There we go. Go ahead, Jody. Let the people know where they can find you. Then the floor is yours.
I'm on Instagram at Don't Run Baby Girl, and Advocate, I'm loving your beanie boy band look. Puff Daddy vibes. Okay, so I'm gonna take the theme, favorite lady, and flip it. And I wanna preface this by saying that I live in Vancouver, Canada, and folks, there is racism here. The travel brochure does not match reality. So here goes. Oh, I'm just gonna pick up the phone. Ooh, it's ringing. Hi, white supremacy? Yes, it's me, concerned mother. I'd like to speak to the manager. No, I learned that line from you. I just have to make you comfortable. Anyway, I know that you're busy. I see. Well, no, this won't take long. I just need to know, white supremacy. At what age will my son become a threat to you? I'm just trying to police the boundaries of whiteness in case I have to. Because, you know, you were at my baby shower and you gave me your well wishes and you got him that cute onesie from Eddie Bauer, and then you sealed it with your hugs and kisses. And you were at his first birthday and you said to me, he is so cute. Mixed babies are so cute. But you see, white supremacy, little boys don't stay little forever. He's outgrown my safe embrace. He's walking and talking now. So I just need to know, for my son's sake and for unneeded heartbreak, white supremacy, at what age will my son become a threat to you? 12? Is it 12? Because Tamir was just carrying a toy gun. You knew this. It was fake. Had the orange tip barrel. Orange, you glad you got away, white supremacy? Hello, white supremacy. It's me, scared mother. So I just need to know. Just tell me, white supremacy, at what age will my son become a threat to you? Because I'm just trying to police the boundaries of whiteness in case I have to. 17. Is it 17? Because Trayvon was just coming back from 7-Eleven. What did he buy? Skittles candy and a watermelon drink. George claimed self-defense. Orange, you glad, white supremacy, that you get to stand your ground? Hey, white supremacy, it's me, angry mother. No, you listen. 23, is it 23? Because Elijah was full of life until you emptied it. He even told you, you are beautiful and I love you. What? Who am I talking about? Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, Elijah McClain, all somebody's son, all somebody's brother, all somebody's future lover, until you, white supremacy, reduce them to just some body. But you, white supremacy, you are somebody's son and somebody's daughter. You are somebody's future lover. But you see, you, white supremacy, will never be reduced to just some body. So, white supremacy, I want to know, at what age will my son become a threat to you? Police the boundaries of whiteness? It looks like I have to. Hey, what emotions can my son not express publicly? Yeah, I thought so. So I'll be fucking angry for him. Look, I'm gonna keep calling you and calling you and calling you as long as you keep stealing sons on stolen land, as long as mothers raise Black sons while dreading their funerals. I'm going to keep calling you. I'm just policing the boundaries of whiteness because I have to. Because you see, white supremacy, I'd rather be a concerned mother. I'd rather be a scared mother. I'd rather be an angry mother. I'd rather be all of that than a grieving mother. And poem.
You yourself
Hey,
give it up for
oh,
Jody.
that was
That was
Amazing.
hell
So
yeah.
amazing.
Hell
Very, very amazing. You made me cry.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Jody Ortega. Oh my gosh, she went in. She went in. I loved it. I love it. And I love the prop. Jody Ortega, a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic, representing Vancouver, which I've heard a lot of great things about. But I love how she said, don't believe everything that you read on the tourist map. I love it, love it. Jody Ortega, give her a follow. Thank you so much, Jody. I appreciate having you on as always. Also, shout out to Trisha De Jesus, who's checking us out on Facebook. I love Trisha. Trisha De Jesus Gutierrez. You need to look her up. She is working on a lot of things. Morgan Sherman, thank you for the shout out on Facebook. I see there, Morgan. They love the withdrawn. Also to Amalia checking in. Hearts to Amalia. What's up, Amalia? And there was someone else also. George Thompson giving us love. George is wondering if maybe one day they can read here. You can, George. So let's keep moving on. Also, there was someone else here who popped up in the video that I didn't give a shout out to because his video kept coming in and out. Damavilli Free. I hope I'm not butchering your name. Props to you. I see you've been checking in. And also, eating dinner while listening to some poetry. I hope you're enjoying yourself, brother. Next up is the leader of our new cult, and that is Nick Paleologos. If you were here last week for my birthday celebration, you saw that Nick tricked us into pledging to his cult. Nick, let us know where we can find the cult leader online, and then let's hear your wise words, old great leader.
You can find me at The Real Nick P. That's TheRealNickP. Cults are so last year, man. This is a church, all right? You know, cults you have to shave and like be like all like dressed. I'm like, I don't like that, man. Be yourselves. I spun this theme into my own way. This one's called God's Aspiring Intellectual Amazement. My favorite woman is a woman who is polyamorous, caught between both spectrums of the evil and kind. She is domestically abused and healed at the same time. She is polluted and pollinated. Her brothers take turns to punish yet miss the mark, looking at the X's and O's, yeses and no's, seeing which ones to punish next. They annex the next without regard. They know that everyone is going to eventually hurt her, so they put on the full court press, manipulating peripheral maps with manifest fogging, flailing fissures, tornadoes, train wrecking, travel, hurricanes, hurtling humans. My favorite woman has a vessel, colossal, her spirit pure, her scent always passing over like satellites, and it's a feeling in the air that endures. She grows like dandelions, moves swift like the wind. She is hindered within the weeds, drilled and dug to see how deep her knowledge and history was and still is. We constantly make her hair fall out, for we as humans are her cancer. She gives us food as her maiden Virgo does for her. Plenty of air to ram into our lungs. She's tough like Taurus. She's a gem and I adore her. She stings like a scorpion. She is an effervescent aquarium of all of us and our emotions and actions. She is fierce as a Leo and looks damn graceful when she dances with you all night long, holding her Libra scale and balancing the Pisces fish and Capricorn goats in her other hand. It's Sagittarius's bow and arrows. So, sending love to night sky, make subliminal supernovas. Her walk is icy and scorching. She is the literal spirit of what beauty is, inside, outside, and an aura. And she still holds her looks to be young forever while raising billions and trillions of children. You can love her for what she is. You can't lust for her because she's got the receipts on us from dusk to dawn, days and nights. If you think she is loose, you're dead wrong. She is someone's daughter. More importantly, she is the mother we all share, Gaia. Know her name, take care of her, and she is done for us because she's getting sick from our obnoxious caustic gas, and we need to ventilate her, rehabilitate our habits, annihilate the hate, and get her back to her old self. She's dying, and she doesn't want us to switch her off life support. She wants us to grow with her. Ready or not, get ready to cultivate, or you'll be gravestone deep into her memory for another worthy of her love. End poem.
Give it up for Nick Paleologos, our fearless leader.
Nick does it just for Gaia.
Awesome,
Nick.
Love it.
Paleologos, that was deep.
Nick Paleologos, forever the showman. The people are loving his background and his words. The real Nick P on Instagram. Give him a follow. Hit him up. Nick Paleologos, our fearless leader. Next up, we are now going to be leaving the Monday Night Online open mic, and we are going to jump into the skip verse with the Nuyorican Poets Cafe OG, Paul Skiff. Paul, let the people know where we can find you, and now let's hear that fire.
Let's just get going. Really enheartened to see everyone back here again this week. This is 2 poems. I'm just going to read them back to back. It's about the same person. Thanks, Ma, for taking that picture of me and little Lori Nass outside the trailer with holes in the knees of our little trousers, jelly stains on our cheeks, me with my toy shovel. It shows me what I was supposed to be and what I know I better not become. It was good to get being married out of the way when I was 4. Thanks, Ma, for being president of the Parent Teachers Association and bringing all that literature about drugs home. I knew there had to be something interesting to do after dinner besides vandalism. Thanks, Ma, for wearing racy underwear and see-through blouses that had college boys whistling you up. I still think when femininity is made of small hands, laughing eyes, self-assurance, old golds, and 115 pounds, it's got a power no guy can cope with. Thanks, Ma, for believing me when I screamed in your face that you couldn't stop me doing whatever the fuck I wanted. You were so glad to hear your lessons on dignity and defiance had taken up my voice by the time I was 15. Thanks, Ma, for letting me grow pot out the back with your bird feeders and wind chimes. You knew how to deflect the neighbor lady when she got curious. Thanks, Ma, for letting Diane fuck me in my room as much as she wanted to. She's 16, raising her 5 little brothers and sisters, and I'm her only outlet for aggression. Now, when someone hurts me with sex, I can still keep my mouth shut. Thanks, Ma, for the time we watched Father die in the front hall and you just said, well, Paul, it's all over, okay? You're on your own now. If I haven't given you enough to get by on, it's my mistake and your tough luck. Thanks, Ma, for coming down to the precinct station to get me out the 3rd time and telling the cops they were dickless wonders. Seeing their gaping mouths drop open so speechless, I promise I'm not going to get caught for anything ever again. Thanks, Ma, for when I turned 18, moved out, and you just said, that's cool. 47 years later, I still don't live with anybody. Thanks, Ma, for accepting the lies I mouthed 1, 2, 3 to ditch your father's funeral, your brother's funeral, your nephew's funeral. You knew I was a mess and deciding on when to hold my own funeral that year. Thanks, Ma, for putting up with my disappearance for 3 years, even though when I finally got a phone, it was because someone else asked me to, never called me, so I called you instead. Thanks, Ma, for the time you apologized to me for having a stroke. It's okay. I don't really have anyone else I'd rather hang out with. Let's get out of this fucked up hospital before they turn some idiot loose to practice on you. It's okay if you can't say my name, right? Thanks, Ma, for making it on your own, just as you are. No one else could prove to me that I can still drop a tear. Yeah, you're the mother of sons, my mother. Ash that lays in an upside down box placed by a union man, shallow, under city built from the Polish exodus that lived 8,000 miles of desperation. My eyes forced to accept a small piece of sod that closed her away beneath this world. The Tomachik girl was never gonna touch me again. My knees gave themselves to that ground in the cold gray land whose summer is like luck. I had touched down at the loss 57 years away from my departure into this most remote of loves, of now and forever. Say I have gone to find my need off this earth. You are no longer the limit of my kiss. The path of earth is open. The only place you appear now is inside me. I scatter my voice on a world where I need not look. I scatter my voice across days of the world over which I reach. Warm light of your nearness lifts me from my heart, intricate as an empty hour that pulses in my knee. I join a cult of thirst, and no civilization can make me fear 3,000 miles on the stairs to your memory.
Unmute yourselves. Give some energy
Oh
to
man, back in the
Wow.
first.
Damn.
Yeah, Dad, back.
Oh
Oh
my
my
goodness. Skipper strikes again. Strikes again.
Welcome to the Skiff verse. Paul Skiff. Go check him out, paulskiff.com. Hey man, I love his voice, his delivery on it. I think that's my favorite poem of his for so far. paulskiff.com. Nuyorican Poets Cafe OG. Like I said, he's got more say to this open mic than I do. He's got the words, the energy, the performance. I love it. I love it, making the founders proud. Love you, Paul. I'm glad to see you here. I hope that things have been well. paulskiff.com. Check it out. Okay, now we are going to Elizabeth. Where is my beanie sibling? I saw her. Where is Strauss? Deadpan Lizzie. There we go. Elizabeth Strauss. I got the beanie, yeah. Elizabeth got the beanie. Okay. Let the people know where they can find you online, and let's hear your stuff.
Oh, it's appreciate the beanie love. You can find me on Instagram at ES_Strauss and BroadwayBroker_NY, and I'll drop it in the chat when I'm finished. I have 2 poems. The first one is called A Woman to Love. On a very warm spring day, the beanie-wearing soul sister was born. Ironic indeed. On the sticky streets of Chelsea, NYC, 2 souls wandered into a hipster store. One soul crowned the other with a light gray beanie. Since then, I have never been the same. She who crowned me as my soulmate, she has always seen confidence in me before anyone else, including myself. She has always seen my potential before everyone else, including me. She sees me, an Aries mermaid who swims in calm waters, Her touch is as strong miles away as it is in person. She is a healer, a physician, a medicine woman. She keeps me on my toes. She teaches me to view the world in many different lights. She surprises me every single day. She never judges me. She's the kindest soul I know. Being in her presence is like being surrounded by rainbows and fields of jasmine. She is gorgeous. She is sexy. She is an artist. She is passionate. She is sensual. She makes me use my voice even when I do not want to. Physical therapists are experts who improve quality of life, mentally, physically, and emotionally. It must be Bashert. She is one. I am too lucky to call her my person, my best friend, my soulmate. She is the reason the beanie-wearing soul sister exists. Thank you for crowning me, seeing me, feeling me, and for always taking care of me. She is the reason I started writing poetry. Kendra Lee Collier, A Woman to Love. I love you. And my closing poem is called, let me just get to the next Word document. I am woman. It cannot be read deadpan. So here we go. I am strong. I am sexy. I am vibrant. I am confident. I am not afraid to speak my mind. I am not scared to piss others off. I proudly roar in this jungle. I march for my rights and my fellow women. I am a future mother and wife. I love my gender. I love my sexuality. I'm not ashamed of my high sex drive. I love that I'm a leather lesbian, kinky, a Jewish Buddhist, an Esther Sarah, a Weinfeld woman. I love myself. I love women. I am a woman. Hear me roar. And if you don't know want to hear me loud and proud, then get the fuck out of my way. Happy Women's History Month.
Yourselves and give it up for Elizabeth
For
Strauss.
Elizabeth, that was, thank you.
Yes.
You are a woman. Yes.
Love it.
I love it. She was like, look, God put that deadpan away for this poem. Boom, I love it. And she went there. She went there. Elizabeth Strauss, make sure that you are following her. She's like, yeah, I like the name Deadpan Lizzie, but not for this poem. Love it. Love it. All right, we have gotten through everyone on our guaranteed list, including Elizabeth Strauss, who took over for Paul Conqueso. So that means we're getting into the waiting list. We've got time. Ron Mark Thompson is next. Also, I can't believe I didn't shout out. Lynn Lane is in the building. Shout out to Lynn. Love having his duties. Always giving a lot of love, and his poems are awesome. Lynn Lane, shout out to him. Ron Mark Thompson, I saw him before. There he is. He's waving. Ron himself is involved in a lot of different workshops and open mics, so make sure that you give him a follow. Ron, let the people know where they can find you, and then the floor is yours.
Thank you. I just put it in the chat, and here it is for those who can see the chat. Ron Mark Thompson on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Bronx Art and Fun Hub, same, BXAFH. And I'm going to read a 3-minute poem, hoping that Zoom doesn't cut me off and hoping that we can get to everyone on the wait list as well. So here it goes. Here is my poetic contribution for tonight, hoping that as always it will leave your spirit and mind bright. You see, I'm going to tell you about my favorite lady. Born in France, she is now a New Yorker and a lot older than 80. Tall she stands, taller than many men, guarding the entrance of our harbor again and again. Gifted to us for decades, she greeted new immigrants arriving by ship. Now they come mostly by plane, but she remains at the clip. She even said hello to Eddie and Arsenio when twice from their kingdom they were coming to America. Now she says hi to tourists passing by on the Staten Island ferry. She remains friendly and very merry. For over a century, she's been holding her tablet proudly, and she still raises that torch high above her head into the sky, no matter how cloudy. She saw world wars, Cold Wars, and the civil rights, as well as terror attacks in Lower Manhattan and Capitol rioters in DC who tried fights. She is a goddess. She does not mind us visiting in her pedestal. And the brave climb all the way to her crown, very flexible. Liberty she represents, though freedom may not be here in our states for every human. But for me, born and raised in a communist country, I came to the new world and knew for freedom I was hungry. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free, the only way a woman statue can embrace us like a tree. I predict she will continue to stand tall and pretty, past the day when a woman becomes mayor of our city. She will still be here when we finally elect our Madam President. She will remain when all of us become free to our extent. Regardless of race or identity, we will all rejoice in her serenity. So, to summarize, my favorite lady is the Statue of Liberty. Let us celebrate her this month. She is an important part of our history. The end.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Ron.
That is so true. She's a
Super
good
nice,
lady.
Ron. Super dope.
Yes.
You always remember
Yes.
about our
Deep
heritage.
Ron Mark Thompson, I am so happy you came over and I've gotten to meet you, brother. Ron is a wonderful human being, awesome writer. Make sure you give him a follow. Like I said, he's involved in a bunch of different things. And if I remember correctly, the Statue of Liberty wasn't made for us. It was kind of like one of those gifts they couldn't get rid of, and we were like one of the last on the list. I could be wrong. I need to look up my history again. You know, when you're in New York, you take that for granted, and you shouldn't. Ron Mark Thompson, go look him up, give him a follow. Emily Cordes is next. Emily used to work at the cafe, and Emily is a big reason why we have our Monday night online open mic. Emily, let the people know where they can follow you, and then let's hear that 5.
All right, gonna drop my stuff in the chat right now. So this is from this is on theme from a couple of weeks ago from the Eyes on You theme, and I have a bit of a prop for it, so I'm going to perform in my mask. If you have trouble hearing me, let me know. All right, and this is called Nazar, subtitle Eyes on You and Me. Blue iris, white pupil, vigilant, unblinking, adorning wrists and blessing rearview mirrors. I wear mine on a mask, embedded in a heart. Come hither, but not too close. A standing invitation couched inside cobalt corona, a curtain slung cross windows of my soul. Apotropaic, I describe it, that word itself award against the trolls and fuckboys too lazy to use Google, because real eyes realize real lies, and only men with huge and throbbing vocabularies need apply. One can never be too careful when hungry eyes surround you, when glances can curse and praise contaminates as easily as breath expelling it. Surrender your defenses, there's no telling what slips in. And these eyes across the years, bloodshot with scorn and tears, have seen enough to seal me shut for good. But it's better than what's left when the mirror's unblinking surface becomes the void into which you gaze, confronting you with everything and nothing you contain. So I suit up for the battle, line my eyes with smoky shadow, stare into my laptop camera's fixed eye, and try and try. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to Emily Cordes.
Yes. Nice.
That was awesome. Nice.
Emily Cordes, not just a writer, but she is also an actress, a producer, a curator. She does all kinds of things. You need to follow her on Facebook, Emily Cordes, and on Instagram, Postmodern Psyche. I love that Instagram name. Make sure that you give her a follow. The first Monday of this April is our 1-year anniversary, and Emily will be rocking out. She has to rock out. She helped create this. You know, like I said, she used to work at the cafe. She moved forward. and the bigger and better things, but she is still connected with us. Love having her part of the community. And, you know, I'll get over her dissing us and going on to find bigger and better things. All right, moving forward, Jenna Fleeson is next. There is Jenna. Jenna Fleeson on the waiting list. Jenna, let the good people know where they can find you online, and then let's hear your fire.
Yes, I have some news. I'll talk about it a little bit after, but I just dropped it in the chat, and then I have a poem for you guys. It's called Letters to My Sister. Dear Zuzu, I miss you. I know you think I could just call you if I really did, but to be honest, I don't know where you are. You left a while ago. I spent countless hours searching up and down your room, and all I know is that you could not be that empty body that lays in your bed. These looks are deceiving. I speak to you and I'm met with an unfamiliar tongue. I'm faced with a brat, a broken girl. I know you gave her the sweater. The one of the college you toured with me, her dream school that was before she got into mine. I have the notebook. I stole it. The one of all the pretty thoughts you had of loving her and nice things you could never say to me. How could I be jealous of my sister's ex-girlfriend? You gave her your shoes, the money our mother didn't have. She took away your happiness and replaced it with an encompassing depression. She stole you away from me and now you're lost. Please write back. Dear Zuzu, where are you? You never respond to my first message, and I'm getting kind of worried. I want to get Dutch Bros and pho with you. I want to talk about cute boys and how much they keep flirting with me. Dear Zuzu, you've been gone for so long, it's like I almost forgot your laugh. I can't remember how your cheeks curl when you smile. I miss you. To be quite honest, I could care less about you being gay, straight, or whatever the fuck you want to call this lapse in judgment. To clarify, the lapse in judgment isn't you being of a different sexual orientation, it's her. She switched you. Made you someone you were not. She's so broken, so sad, she didn't even notice that she was spoon-feeding you toxicity and disguised it as love. Dear Zuzu, I wonder if you still text her. She has still managed to make time for you in a way you thought I couldn't. I wonder if she still tries to tell you who to be. I pray to God she has found another puppet, another person to exert her power over, another way to feel stronger than she is. I miss you. I was angry, but I'm not angry anymore. I'm sorry for ever being angry. You deserve for people to work on loving you for who you are, not hating you for who they think you've become. Please write back. Dear Zuzu, Mama found your cigarettes. She called me and told me it was my fault. I keep telling myself that I'm not to be held accountable for my sister's actions, but how could that be true when you feel like my own daughter? I raised you, I brushed your hair and fed you breakfast, I drove you to school and helped you with your homework, and you have to understand you're not only my sister, you're like my daughter sometimes, and that alters the way I feel like I should treat you, and I'm so sorry that our culture preaches tough love, but that's what I've been taught, and I'd rip my heart out of my chest in exchange for your giveness. If they asked someone to give you a lung, I'd give you the both of mine because you breathing is enough to keep the both of us alive, and I'm sorry. My ego has gotten in the way of raising you as your proper Arab daughter. My ignorance strayed you away from your prayers. My constant insight made you forget our prophet. My self-directedness and agency made you forget the most merciful and forgiving. But now there is nothing for us to do but pray that Allah guides you back to him. And that's all I can do. I'm sorry. Love, Jenna. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for that.
Unmute yourselves.
That was
Give
so
it up
good,
for
Jenna.
Jenna. Do no more sleep.
Yes. Bring that. Bring that fire.
Welcome back. We missed you.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Thank you. Thank you. And
Jenna Fleeson, make sure that you look up Jenna Fleeson and Jenna Poems with a Z at the end, you know, poetic license on Instagram. Miss having her around. Jenna, I'm still counting up, but Jenna is one of the people that I think has signed up the most. So we may be seeing her on the anniversary show. Like I said, I'm still counting up how many times everyone has added up. So we will find out. Also, I forgot to mention earlier, I think the Withdrawn has probably signed up the most. That's what it's looking like. But the Withdrawn actually signed up for the very first Monday night online open mic. So did Testimony. Those are the two people from the very first Monday night online open mic who are still active. And I forgot to mention that I want to have Testimony on and the Withdrawn because they were there from day one. The Withdrawn, brother, I will be hitting you up. I know you have no life on the Monday night, so you're going to join us. Now I'm joking, especially with that, the best curves on the woman on her face. Oh, I'm going to use that this week. I'm so getting late. So the Withdrawn and Testimony and Emily Cordes, they will be part of the anniversary show. Next, Andrew Meisen. We've heard here on a Monday night a couple of times, loving that background. He was checking us out last week for the birthday celebration. Andrew, let the people know where they can find you online, and then the floor is yours.
Thank you. So you can find me online from like andrewmeissen.com or at andrewmeissen. Just type my name and you'll find it. And some background for this. So I've never done an open mic before, and I've wanted to. And sometimes I can go like straight in the pool of water. Sometimes I like to take just like really ease myself into it. And my original plan actually for this was like, I'm gonna do this thing where I'm like just gonna show up and just like not gonna have a poem, just be like, hey guys, here I am, just the first step, that's it, bye. But I got the ticket and I was like, oh shoot, and then I actually wrote a poem, so I have something, so that's great. So, and that's the background to this kind of poem. Andrew Meissen, a man, his first poem, and it's absolutely not going according to plan. His first thought was to move through the world on his little mouse feet, smaller than a baby's step and lighter than any man's. But today, at New Eurekan, he is not of quiet mice. He is not of soft-spoken men. He is himself. He is of Meissen men. That's it. Thank you.
Mute yourself for Andrew.
Very good. Nice, Andrew.
Yes.
Good job.
Yes, Andrew.
Yes, first poem. Pretty good. There we go.
Strong advocate.
Andrew Meissen, welcome to the family. And if I'm not mistaken, Andrew, you were there when Nick Paleologos had read the poem that we all had to repeat, so you were part of the cult as well. Andrew Meissen, you can look him up online. Appreciate having you. Next coming up is Diane Ward, the perfect combination of the vibrancy of youth and wisdom. I love having Diane on, and I appreciate her husband not hunting me down. Diane, let people know where they can find you.
Well,
and then
thank
the
you
floor is
so
yours.
much. Thank you so much. Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're good.
Can you hear me? Okay. Well, unfortunately, something was wrong with my Zoom last week and I couldn't get on. But I'm going to write to the prompt that was last week. Happy belated birthday, advocate. And the prompt was, what do you think it's like being advocate of word? And go right in it. Responsibility and taking back the Merriam-Webster American Dictionary, apparently contributed to by too many freelancers, maybe? Probably not. Goodness offend anyone using too many words and expected to glimpse or dare read the Oxford English Dictionary. I won't go there, all right? I'll take you there instead. Ensure vocabulary allowance include lexicographic work and corpora, which is a collection of text displaying word usage with updated addendums, required reading prior to using. Fad words depleted and or time-stamped, racist words explaining their etymology, and censorship discussed as to why they aren't to be used and considered boorish for even politicos and children's use. Slang explained in sections where the truth is told honestly, and the editors from the rainbow of thoughts and people chosen not by the publishers, but by unfettered, uncompromised, honest people without political leanings, but having uncompromised genitalia that won't get tangled or wounded. Tell me how to get on a dictionary planning board, become a lexicographer. Let's not forget the thesaurus, and especially in case any more ethnocentric definitions of what I mean culturally sensitive sensibilities and culturally derivative without censorship. So that's another companion volume in required reading and testing prior to opening the sacred dictionary. Let's elaborate upon the word etymology, since it has been stripped of its purpose, and again, subject to colonial and ethnogenic murder with a racist bias drunk justice predicated with, cause I say so, and I dominated you and your people justice. We wasn't lost, so we didn't need to be found. You were looking for, I've been right here, sensibility. No, I won't forget as I use your language and now resurrect mine. Though some of my language extinct, some of us trying to resurrect my native tongue. Oh, because you or someone can't take the time to find a word cometh from? By the way, let's clear up synonyms and antonyms by adding a chapter or two when grammatically correct and when and a conjunction could start a sentence. By the way, the Queen's English is pronounced and spelled differently for a reason. So when Americans bastardize English, don't get mad when colonized people come here and I guess forgot their place and they correct your writing because now they be in American. You obviously spell it with a K. I digress. That happened to a friend of mine. She now writes Cockney American English like y'all. New sentence, and it's accepted. Two-letter words will be gone soon. It to be Shakespeare, and what Valley Girl or perhaps Cliff Note toting groupie between sips of boxed wine, yeah, I sound bougie, agreed to, you fill in the blanks. It's allowed now, make up words. While I'm at it, remember penmanship, beautiful cursive writing? I still write letters by hand and use forever stamps. I still don't use and as the first word in a sentence. Shows my age. Yes, a time when respect for words meant we didn't abbreviate due to laziness. When we took the time to look up words we didn't know. When reading and studying how to use words correctly was valued. I still treasure the sanctity of words and language and effective communication without misconstruing a meaning and writing a complete sentence with a subject, verb, and predicate in that order, except when my literary spirit moved me. I enjoy sharing ideas. Don't lose the wealth of words. They are tools to everything in channeling our thoughts and spirits to our next beginnings. We all make mistakes. We try to be accountable and serious when the ramifications of long or misunderstood usage due to an unclear and imprecise rendering of the word is felt. We try to be an advocate of word when we remain specific, inviolate, true, and genuine. But first I have to define true, genuine in every word I use to explain to be an advocate for a word and of the word. It's not a false rendering, not its attempt to rhyme, and then when mispronounced and given a curved meaning, calling it poetic license? No, then make it a new vocabulary word, but keep mine intact. That means unsullied, undiluted, pure, and in pristine form. I'll define that clearly, transparently, in all its noun, adjective, verb uses. No shades like people, black or white, colored or white, pink or off black. So when you breach colors by blurring us all together and don't blur the language, be an advocate. If brown to tan say beige, then navy blue say deep cobalt, rose, what it is. All you were pointing at me, I'm the advocate of word. Some will hate me in one way for another. When I give the etymology of the meaning of the word you try to use to slander, spit, sneeze, stomp, curled your lip, raise your middle finger, belched out, and tried to call on me, further name me. As advocate of word is an advocate for a world where language is the key. So be brave, fellow advocates of word. Be beat, be loved, and be scared, because until we control dictionaries, thesaurus, and root out evil, we have to keep printing, saying, chanting, humming, teaching the truth forward, and record this history, belief, destroy lies, destroy hate by sharing what's real. Be an advocate for life, and all elders always living and thinking in every language, free. Understand that? No? Look it up in future editions. Thank you.
Wait, Diane, you cut out. Say those last two lines again. Those last two lines cut out.
And thinking in every language free. Understand that? No. Look it up in future editions.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for
Diane,
Diane
Diane,
Ward.
yes,
Damn,
yes.
that last two lines right there. Oh my god. Dope.
Keep writing that hot. Keep writing that hot.
Fire.
Diane Ward. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. My birthday was last week and I'm still getting presents. I feel like, oh, I love that poem. If you guys heard anything you like tonight, make sure you go check out the New Rican Poets Cafe on Facebook and YouTube. You can rehear Diane Ward's poem. She just killed. I told you, right? Like wisdom and like this vibrancy that she's got, like this perfect combination. Love it. Check her out. You can check out everyone else. Check out Diane Ward, New Rican Poets Cafe on Facebook, YouTube. Tonight was such a great night. There's still 4 people on the waiting list we didn't get to. We're out of time. So shout out Trisha De Jesus, who I mentioned before. Love her. Matthew Marroquin, who's a farmer, and he comes and checks us out. Zena Haji. Oh, we haven't heard from Zena in a while. I'm sorry we couldn't get to her. And the Elemental. You probably heard Elemental tonight. Every time I unmute people, give love to them. Elemental is the loudest. Shout out to him, man. So next Monday, the theme is back in the day. Of course, if you cannot wait until Monday, Thursday night, we have our online open mic. It is hosted by La Bruja, and it's more than just poetry. It is singing, dancing, and comedy and poetry too. So whatever you would like. Thank y'all all for checking this out. So with that being said, good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting the spirit of Miguel Agarin into your home. This has been the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Rican Poets Cafe. I will see you all next week. I am your host, Advocate of Words. It is always such a pleasure to be here with all of y'all. So I'm sorry, but it's over, and you're going to have to deal with Tuesdays soon. I know we've ruined Tuesdays because we make Mondays so good. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Good seeing y'all.